Stephen with Coastal Science and Engineering, CSE, if you're not quite sure what that acronym is, in some of my email blasts. And welcome back. And Stephen and I went for a beach walk this morning and put some eyes on the ground, but he's been checking out our beach from afar. We have photos from about 2 weeks ago when they flew the drone over. So, and Stephen also does our yearly monitoring as part of our permit with OCRM and Army Corps with our original breach project. And I don't want to steal any of your show, but Stephen will get into that. So what I thought I'd do today is just go over our water management plan. And what I mean by water management plan is really anything that influences the amount of water we have and the way it flows across the island. So from our roads to our impoundment dikes, and really our roads are dikes as well. They surround our Old House Lagoon and Lake Timacau impoundments. It's just that our roads have utilities through them and we drive over top of them, where our impoundment dikes are really just those mounds of vegetation that, out by two pipes and those sorts of areas. And then also, Stephen will get into the breach. So before I turn it over to Stephen, just wanted to kind of review some of the considerations that we have as a staff. And we're kind of at a crossroads. Justin and I and other staff have been out on the island looking at our roads, looking at the amount of water that come on our roads during our big spring tide events. And there are certain things that we could do, but there's so many options out there. And so we're coming to you all to help, for you all to decide how to help guide us better, because we could do this option over here, but if you're considering option B, then we'll just wait for option B and kind of supplement with option A. And some of that will be hopefully a little bit clearer as we go along through the presentation. But, the water, aside from the breach, and, today we have a breach, but everyone was easily able to get here with our lunar phase that we're in, with our wind direction, the amount of rainfall that we have on the island. So what we're looking at is, how do we best manage within the community the sunny day flooding? So we're not just looking at tropical systems and, the fall hurricane season, but, those 8-foot tide events that happen when the sun is nice and bright and, you're not really thinking about boarding your house for a hurricane. And I shared some of these slides during our annual meeting, so some of this is a recap with some new considerations. But this is back in November, and it's looking at the top zigzaggy line is from this past November, around Thanksgiving, and then the bottom one is a year prior, and just looking at how some of those factors, rainfall, wind direction, this is all kind of around that spring tide, but we had just under an 8-foot tide last year, and those of you who were out here around Thanksgiving saw how that water laid out on the roadways. But the year prior, it was a quiet Thanksgiving. There was no extra water on the road, even though we were still in a spring tide event. So it's just the compounding factors